Today, Baba talks about chanting and remembrance. And there is a saying that if you chant the name of God, then you will receive happiness. Jap Sahib to Sukh Mile. But Baba says you don't have to chant the name of God. You have to remember Baba. And we need to understand the science behind this. So you see, our inner world has the mind and the intellect. And for the soul to experience anything, the mind and intellect have to be aligned. So the mind creates thoughts and the intellect creates the visual, the image. Now, when we are just chanting, there is no guarantee that the intellect is also creating the corresponding visual. So sometimes you may be saying Ram, 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 but then there is no image of Ram in your heart. There is, my curry is getting burnt, or there's traffic on the street, and then maybe I'll get late for office, and these images are hounding your intellect. And then you are just verbally, you're chanting. But then, in order for the soul to experience something, because until and unless you experience something, it doesn't become a sanskar with you. So, for anything to become a sanskar or to become an experience, even experiencing God's company, you need your mind and intellect to work together. So Baba says you don't have to use your mouth at all. You don't have to talk. You don't have to utter any word. You just have to create the thought, my Baba. And then you have to, your intellect, the understanding of Baba that the intellect has, when you say my Baba, that intellect will emerge the understanding of Baba, the image of Baba. And when you do that, that is called sitting in remembrance. So it has got nothing to do with what you are uttering with the mouth. And that is absolutely of no significance. You just create a thought, my Baba, and then you see the image inside, that of your sweet Baba, point of light, and then your relationship with Baba, that Baba is the Father who loves you, and then you feel the love of Baba, and that is what will make you experience the love of Baba. Or you create the image of Baba, and then Baba is the ocean of purity. And then when you remember Baba as the ocean of purity, you feel that the rays or the company of Baba is purifying you. So that is remembrance. And Baba says that just by chanting the name of God, you don't change. So our problem is our sanskars. Our problem is not the world. And whatever is affecting me outside, whatever is outside and is affecting me, is because it is triggering something inside. It is triggering something that's inside. And then on the inside, I have a variety of sanskars which are getting triggered. And I can only have a different experience of life when my sanskars change. And those sanskars will change when I sit in this incognito company of Baba, feeling his love or feeling the act of purification that Baba is doing for me. And when I do that, then I will take the benefit of being in Baba's company, not through chanting any name. So, this is what Baba tells us today. Now, there's also a question today. Is there an evil eye, and how do I protect myself from evil eye? Whether you say evil eye, whether you say negative vibrations, you have to understand that for anything in the world to work, there has to be exchange, The giver and the receiver have to cooperate. Yes, just like, even when Baba is the ocean of love, ocean of purity, or Baba is the Almighty, but Baba gives us the directions that I have to be the receiver. I have to be in soul consciousness. I have to open my heart, mind, and intellect towards Baba, and then receive the love that Baba is giving, receive the purity that Baba is giving. And if I'm not receiving it, then even if Baba is giving it to me, I will not be able to benefit from it. Is it not? Now, there is a very simple law that Baba has given us, and the law is that when you're soul conscious, you receive what Baba is giving you. Because when you're soul conscious, your heart is open towards Baba. Yes. Now, when you talk about the negative vibrations of the world or the evil eye, then it is a subject of your heart opening towards the world. So, when you are body conscious, then it is like your heart is open to receive the vibrations of the world. And in body consciousness, yes, evil eye will have an impact on you. Any kind of negative vibration will have an impact on you. Even if you are not consciously tuning your mind to it. But still, because you're body conscious and your mind and intellect are in towards the old world, it's your heart is open towards the old world. Do you understand that when you sit in yoga, when you sit in remembrance, then it is like you're closing your heart towards the world and you are opening your heart towards Baba. So this is the act of having yoga. And when you are not in yoga with Baba, then you are in yoga with the world. So your heart is open to receive all the vibrations of the world. And even if you think, that I don't want to think about this one, but you're thinking about that one only because the mind doesn't know, don't think. So when you say, I don't want to think about this person, then you are thinking about that very person because your mind doesn't understand, don't think. So you have to understand that when you're body conscious, you are open to receiving the vibrations of the world. And when you're soul conscious, you're closed from the vibrations of this world. And you're open towards receiving God's love and vibrations. So yes, evil eye will have an impact. So it's not about somebody casting an evil eye on you, but the fact that you are not in immunity. So you have every choice to not take what the other person is giving you. But if you're not exercising that choice, if you're body conscious, then you will receive that energy. Sometimes you don't even need to think about something. It's just the energy, the vibrations that you receive. But why do you receive that? Because you are not making the conscious effort to receive Baba's vibrations. So this is why, Baba doesn't tell us, don't think about anybody else. Baba says, remember me. Because if you don't remember Baba, then whether you think about somebody or not think about somebody doesn't matter. Their vibrations will affect you. And when you are in remembrance of Baba, then it is like you are in a shield of that protective, aura from Baba, where nothing of this world touches you. So I always give this example that, earlier when I used to go to the market for anything, I would get very tired and I would feel like, somebody just took a suction pump and drained all my energy, because all the day was usually very busy. And then when I had to go to the market, it felt like, all the energy that I drained in 12 hours, I drained in half an hour in the market. But later, when I learned how to be in Baba's remembrance, and then, now, even if I have to, go to 5 different places or have some seva, or even for going for some shopping or something, I feel I'm not drained after that. Because now my heart is not open to receive everything. Now I move in Baba's remembrance. So when I'm in Baba's remembrance, then nothing else has an impact on me. So this is a very practical experience of me shifting from, experiencing a lot of impact of the environment around to experiencing negligible impact of the external environment. So this is about the evil eye. And then today Baba says that your clan, the Brahmin clan, is the most elevated clan. And what is it that you do that makes you so elevated? So Baba says you do elevated spiritual service. Now, what is elevated spiritual service? It's a very interesting thing, because when wherever you go to work, you have a job profile, right? So you know what you're supposed to do. And then, when I came into seva, I remember I asked my Didi, so what exactly do I have to do here? So I don't really know what seva is. So is it just giving classes, or what? Or what is it that I should know about seva? So then that she gave me a very good answer, and I always hold it very close to my heart. She said, your main seva is to create an atmosphere of purity by upholding your purity. And that is what is seva. Sharing knowledge is a very small part of seva. So seva is basically creating an atmosphere of purity by holding on to your essence of purity. And it is said that when you are a good gardener, what do? You don't try to force the plant into becoming something. You just give the plant the right atmosphere to bloom. And then every seed, whatever is contained inside the seed, gets fructified, and then it blooms into the plant that it is destined to bloom into. And it blooms into the best version of the plant that it is destined to bloom into. So similarly, we are not here to tell somebody do this, do that, but just creating that atmosphere in which every soul has that seed of purity, that seed of knowledge, but you need to stimulate that seed. And how do you stimulate that seed? By providing that atmosphere of purity, of knowledge, of power. And when you create that atmosphere, then the soul that has that essence inside itself, that soul will automatically start becoming that again. That soul will again start blooming into themselves. And that is what is seva. And Baba says, you do the most elevated spiritual seva. And you don't need to live in a center or be in a certain place to do this seva. Baba says, wherever you are, while you're walking, talking, doing work, just, just keep serving Bharat and everywhere else. Why Bharat? Because we were in Bharat or we are in Bharat. So Baba says Bharat, but wherever you are. So keep serving the world around you and the world further from you by sitting in your essence, by sitting in your essence of purity and thinking pure thoughts, creating pure feelings and wishes, or doing pure actions. You just sit and stabilize yourself, uphold your essence of purity, and act in a pure manner. And that is your seva. That is how you serve the world. And there's one Mata, and she was always, for many years, she kept telling me that I have 2 children, and if I had not had these children, then I would go to the center and live there and do seva. And then I used to always tell her that that is not how you do seva. Wherever you are, if you are in purity, then you're doing seva. Then she said, but nobody is listening to me. Nobody is, becoming a BK. So I said, you don't think about what is happening. You think about only what you're doing. And then, she just started living a very disciplined life of purity with ease and with love. And her daughter, she also, because the children are living with the mother, right? So there are 2 daughters. So whatever the mother is doing, the way she is doing, they are also following her. They are following the way she's speaking. They are absorbing the vibrations that is being created in the atmosphere. And the children are turning out to be really good souls. And very powerful, very pure. And then she said, Didi, earlier I didn't understand what seva is. I always used to think that, maybe conducting classes or doing something else is seva. But then now I understand how, when you become a flower of purity and spread the fragrance of purity, then in your company, other souls also start becoming pure. And, the most important thing is purity, because once any soul is touched by purity, then their intellect starts working. And every soul knows what is right, wrong, good, bad. But that soul has to be touched by the fragrance of purity for the intellect to start working. And then that soul starts making its own effort to create good karma, or, to fill itself with power through meditation. So all of those things are what will follow. But this is our main seva. And, when Janki Dadiji was directed by Bap Dada, by Shiv Baba, who used to come in the body of Dadi Gulzar at that time. So Dadi Janki was told that you go and do service in the foreign land. So when Dadi was told that, in 1970s, when the first, seva in London started, and Dadi was told you go to London and serve the souls there, then Dadi said, I don't know the language. And Dadi said, how can I serve without knowing the language? And then Baba said, you don't need to use the language, just create the atmosphere that's here. So Baba just looked at the room, and the room in Mount Abu in Madhuban, in which Bab Dada was sitting. And Baba said, you just create this room, this atmosphere there. And then Dadi went, and in the beginning, when there was Seva in London, then it started in a very a society that was not considered a posh society. It was a very low-key society, and that society, we had a very small place, one room, and that too somewhere on the upper floors. And then that is how Seva started. And from there, today we have so much Seva all around the world, not just in London, but London is the international headquarter also. So you see that there is so much Seva, not international headquarter. London is the overseas headquarter. International headquarter is Mount Abu, but overseas Seva is done through London. So now Seva is so much in expansion in London, and how it started just by creating that atmosphere of purity. You don't need to tell anybody what to do and what not to do. Because we are impure and body conscious, we are choosing to do wrong actions. And when we become pure and soul conscious, we will ourselves make the choice to do good actions. And I was just talking to somebody the other day, and that person is not even a BK. So they have not done any formal course or anything. But that soul, she told me something very nice. She said that I used to listen to some lectures, by many saints. And it is said in many religions that just get up in the morning, early in the morning, and meditate. So she said, I don't even know how to meditate, but I just get up in the morning and I sit in silence. And I do whatever I can because I don't understand much of meditation. And then she said, naturally, I started feeling that I don't want to eat any impure food. So earlier I was a non-vegetarian, but I have started developing this distaste for non-vegetarian food. So she said, why is this happening? Actually, I've come with that question. Is it because I'm getting up in the morning and meditating? So I said, you see, even if you don't know Baba, Baba is in Amrit Vela, Baba is active in Sangam Yuga, right? So Baba is showering his blessings. So even if you don't know Baba, you are getting up and you're sitting in silence, which means you are disconnecting yourself from other things. So you're definitely receiving pure vibrations. And when you're receiving that, then automatically your intellect will work better. And the choices that you made earlier will not make sense to you, whether it's the choice about what you were eating earlier, or how you were reacting earlier, or how you were behaving earlier, or how you were using your time and energy. All those choices, will start making less and less sense to you. And then the good choices will start making sense to you. For example, if you just get up at Amrit Vela every day, and now we are BKs, we even know how to remember Baba. So you keep remembering Baba, then slowly, gradually, you feel that I don't want to answer back to somebody just because I want to feed my ego. Just because earlier you feel that urge to talk back to somebody, or that urge to answer somebody back. But if you just live in that atmosphere of purity, if you just drench yourself in the pure vibrations of Baba, then you will not feel like doing the things that you felt like doing earlier. And your choices will start to change. So Baba says your biggest seva is to be pure, make choices according to Srimad, and create an atmosphere where it feels normal and natural to make those choices. And you see, even those children who have taken Gyan and who are even listening to Murli but not meditating, when they go and live in Madhuban, so when they go to Mount Abu to meet Baba, then what happens is they start getting up at Amrit Vela. Why? Because the atmosphere is such. So, if you create an atmosphere of knowledge, an atmosphere of purity, an atmosphere of discipline, an atmosphere of, love and care, an atmosphere of spiritual sustenance, an atmosphere of power, then other souls will also benefit out of that atmosphere, because every soul has the essence of knowledge, purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss, and power inside itself. And when the atmosphere is created, that essence, that seed blooms. So, this is what seva is. And then Baba today also talks something else about seva. So, Baba today says that seva requires the attitude that I am a world servant. So, and that attitude stems from the awareness that everything I have is for seva. So, what do you think? Do you think that everything that I have is for me? Or do you think that everything I have is for seva? So, what does being a trustee mean? Do you know that Baba has told us that we are trustees, we are not owners. And what is the consciousness of a trustee? The consciousness of a trustee is that I am taking care of everything, but it is not for me. It is for seva. And Baba says, be a trustee of your mind, your body, your wealth, your relationships, everything. And never even have a single thought that this is for me, this is my private or personal property. And whenever you use it, know that you are using that which is for world service. So never create a thought for just, your own sake. Even in thought, always when you create a thought, it should be a thought for world service. It should be a thought for world benefit. Never say, I should stay healthy, Everybody in the world should stay healthy. So when I am creating one thought for myself, it takes one thought. When I'm creating one thought for the world, it also takes one thought. And in that world, I'm also included. I'm part of the world. I'm part of the whole. So Baba says, use everything for world service and benefit the world. And you see, whenever you are talking, so, even if you're talking to one person or you're talking to yourself, just visualize that you are talking on the stage and say something that is filling everybody who is listening with enthusiasm, hope, faith, zeal, with power. Because whatever you are doing, if you hold this awareness that it's for world service, it reaches every soul of the world. This is also another spiritual law. So just like I told you that when you're soul conscious, you are open to receiving Baba's vibrations. So when you have this attitude, when you sit in the seat of the unlimited, so when you sit in this awareness that I'm sitting on the globe and doing everything and it's for everybody, then it reaches everybody. That's the law. It's like you've dialed that number, you have dialed that announcement number. So that's how it works. So, and I will tell you one thing. So, my own experience is that when, the center started, so, initially nobody comes to the center, right? So, you need a lot of effort, and you need to distribute pamphlets and give everybody the information. Then the word has to spread, and then people start coming to the center. So, when we started the seva, then at that time, it was I and Santosh Bhai only, nobody else. So, at that time, I remember we used to sit very formally, like we conduct a class, and then read the Murli aloud as if, the whole world was listening. And then every day we would conduct the Murli like that. And we would emerge every soul of the world and then conduct the Murli. And then slowly, gradually, people started coming to the center. And then during COVID, this online seva started. And then, the reach and the expansion of seva increased multifold. So this happens with one thought. First, you have to, even if you are just reading the Murli in a room, don't think that you're just reading the Murli to yourself. Always think that, I'm reading the Murli, I am understanding, and I'm also, everybody around is listening. And just with that awareness that this is for world seva, share the knowledge. Or, whenever you're doing something, maybe you're just preparing a lunch or a dinner, don't think it's just a lunch or a dinner. Just create that thought that this is Brahma Bhojan. It will feed the hunger of millions. And just create that thought that this Brahma Bhojan is not only feeding the bodies but also the minds and hearts and intellects of myriad souls around me. And with that love, just fill your bhojan with that much power from Baba that it is able to quench the spiritual and the physical hunger and thirst of every soul around you. So, but do everything in unlimited consciousness. When you earn, don't think you're just earning for yourself. When you spend, don't spend only for yourself. Make Baba's task a part of it. And just know that whatever you have is for world service. And start sharing it in Baba's seva. And when you start doing that, then you become, you may be living in a very ordinary context, but your income or your earnings or your blessings from that seva is multifold. So this is also another thing about seva that Baba says. And then today Baba also tells us that surrender everything to God and you will experience that the difficulties that come your way will become very easy. So how do you surrender everything to God? So you see, the interesting thing is everybody wants to surrender their problems to God. They don't want to surrender their assets to God. Yes, only their liabilities. But God with Baba, it has to be a very honest exchange. It is all or nothing. With Baba, it is all or nothing. Either you surrender everything or nothing, because true surrender is surrendering everything. And anyways, you cannot keep some part of yourself and then give something to Baba, and Baba cannot purify it that way. So for Baba to purify everything, you have to surrender everything. So Baba says surrender everything, right from your intellect to your thoughts, to your mind, to your feelings, to to, your time, your energy, your resources, your education, your specialities. Surrender everything to Baba. And then Baba will also take your liabilities or your problems or your shortcomings or your weaknesses. And when you surrender everything to Baba, then Baba uses everything and takes care of everything. So so both ways we benefit. First way we benefit is when I surrender something to Baba, Baba will put it to the best use. I may not be able to put my specialities or my resources to the best use, but Baba will put it to the best use and I will benefit out of it. And second thing is, Baba will also take my weaknesses or my problems. And when Baba takes my weaknesses and problems, then my weaknesses finish. And second, my problems become very tiny. Because now it's not my problem, Baba's problem. And nothing is a problem for Baba, is it? So can anything be a problem for Baba? So when Baba is there, then nothing is a problem because nothing can be a problem for Baba. So it's just, a situation that you can handle very well. But you need to understand that you cannot have this part agreement with Baba. With Baba, it is all or nothing. So surrender everything and then problems will become easy. Okay, Om Shanti.